Look at where our country may be headed next. I'm joined by Katy Balls, the Deputy Political Editor at The Spectator, and also Sonia Soda, Chief Lead Writer with The Observer. Welcome, both of you. We've got a challenge for you before we have our discussion. You each have 1 minute to run through what you believe to have been the most significant moments of the week. So, Katy, we will get the clock up. You have 60 seconds for your summary.
Right. Okay?
Yeah.
So I think the big significant thing is we have a Prime Minister who is effectively stuck in Downing Street, unable to negotiate as he wants after the bill to legislate against the no-deal Brexit to force him to seek a Brexit delay received royal assent. On top of that, he's failed twice now, including this week, to get a general election, so he can't go to the polls. And Parliament has been suspended, so nothing is going to happen for a couple of weeks unless the Supreme Court agrees with the Scottish Court ruling this week that prorogation is illegal or bad advice, and in which case he may have to face the music sooner rather than later. How many have I under my time?
Another 15, 17 seconds to go. You're doing
in
well.
which case, and adding to Boris Johnson's problems, we have John Bercow, who announced that he is going to resign this week, which appeared to be good news for the Tories. However, the problem is people now think that he wants to create a legacy before he goes, and in the various rulings on Brexit in the Commons, he might be sympathetic to the other side.
Your time is up. You did well. Thank you very much, Katy. So much to talk about, and it is extraordinary, isn't it, that has all happened in 1 week. Let's bring in Sonia, because we have sprung this, I'm afraid, Sonia, on you. So you've had a little time to prepare, but you're brilliant for doing this for us. So tell us in 60 seconds how you would summarise this week.
Yes, I am ad-libbing. So, number one, shortage of medical supplies, potentially, shortages of food. Thirdly, fourthly, we've seen splits.
You're out of time, but carry on. We'll give you some extra.
Another couple of points.
Go on then, go on. It is mind-blowing. This has all happened in a week. I mean, I think probably the best way to do it is to go through it chronologically. So let's start with John Bercow's resignation. That was a moment.
Yeah, and I think it was a moment lots of Tory MPs had been hoping for some time and would like to come a while ago. But what was interesting about it was there was almost a sting in the tail. So John Bercow announced that he isn't going to seek re-election, he will stand down. But he wants to have the vote for his replacement in this Parliament. And he said that's because he believes that the MPs in this Parliament, who we know are weighted against this government, if you look at recent votes, are more independently minded, so are less likely to be influenced by their party leaders. And I think there's a sense that the Speaker is supposed to be this neutral, impartial role. John Bercow has changed that.
There was a long period, wasn't there, Sonia, where he listened to the accolades on the benches of him as Speaker. I mean, how much has him being Speaker shaped where we are now in terms of Brexit?
Oh, it's
developments through the week that we need to get through. So, I mean, the second vote, losing the second vote on the election, a dramatic moment again, but it was expected. It would have been a surprise if it was
expected, but it's just another sign that this government is finding everything does seem to be quite stuck.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, the issue of prorogation going through the courts, and I mean, there was that just a wow moment really on Wednesday when the Scottish courts ruled that the prorogation was illegal. It's going back to the Supreme Court on Tuesday. We have to see what happens then. But, I mean, were the Supreme Court to
go along with the will of Parliament?
I want to bring in a clip of Kwesi Kwarteng, who was he criticised the judges in Scotland, and there was a lot of controversy after what he had to say on the Andrew Neil programme.
The more that courts get involved,
Boris Johnson went against what he was saying, didn't he, to try to take some of the heat out of that. We've not got much longer, so I want to talk about yesterday, Oliver Letwin saying that he thinks now a referendum is going to be inevitable. Are we getting closer to a referendum? Could you imagine Boris Johnson saying yes to a referendum now?
I can't imagine Boris Johnson saying yes to it. I mean, I had big surprises in politics, but that would be a very big surprise.
Mm-hmm. Katy, Sonia, thank you both very much indeed for joining us. Thank you. We'll have to see what next week in politics.